Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another video and welcome back to our channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lanico, and I am coming back to you today with another devotional moment. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay. First of all, I just want to say this, that these two devotionals that I've been working out of, they're always going to be in my description box. And as of today, I just want to say thank you to those of you who have purchased one of these and have let me know about it. That's pretty cool, right? To know that you guys are kind of following along and it's something about it is exciting for you, because it really is exciting for me to be doing this. So thank you all for who have purchased one. So again, I'll always leave these in my description, the link for them to buy them from my Amazon store in the description box, where you can find, that's where you'll find the link to be able to purchase one. And hopefully more of you guys will come along and join the ride. So thank you. Thank you. So today I'm coming back with the Believing Bigger devotion. So today's devotion comes from Romans chapter 8, verse 28, and it reads as such: "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose." And so again, we know that comes from Romans 8, verse 28. And so the writer writes, the writer writes this as her devotion. She says, "Life doesn't always make sense." Don't we know that? It's natural. It's natural to anxiously wonder whether it's all going to work out. Faith says that we believe God to be bigger than our circumstances and that he can do anything and everything. But God isn't a performer waiting to fulfill the latest desires of our heart. Yes, God is the provider. He is also Father. The core of our relationship with God and God's relationship with us is love. Love is like a portal that invites us into the protective covering and supernatural plan of God. It's so easy to forget that we're part of something bigger than what we know. God sees every moment and strategically interweaves our moments, our joys, and our frustrations into the lives of others. He doesn't do this for us to please or to satisfy us. He does this for the master purpose, eternity. Our trust in God must first be based upon a firm reliance in his undeniable love for us to never abandon us. And then we must trust that what's happening in our lives is actually working together for a good that is eternal and magnificent. Amen, right? Okay. So this was actually a pretty good one. So the first thing I would say that stood out to me was, first of all, I heard the humbling the humbling truth that when we go through things and the moments that God interweaves as our moments, our joys, our happiness, our upsets, even our grief, knowing that the tendency is for us to think that he kind of interweaves these moments and uses them for ourselves. But the truth is like she said, and that is very true, he doesn't do this for us. Right? We want to think he does. And I'm actually glad he doesn't, in a sense, because honestly, we would be some pretty puffed up people if we thought, if everything that we, walk through in life, what, be it up, be it down, left or right, that everything is going to work out. Everything is, things are going to work out this particular way because we think it's about us. But the reality, the truth of the matter is that it is for others, right? So I love that. And that's a humbling reminder. It's very humbling. It's a very humbling reminder. But then she goes on. I love that next sentence she goes in. She says, our trust in God must first, not it must be second or third, but first. Our trust in God must first be based upon our understanding that God will never abandon us, basically. And because he has such an undeniable love for us, let me tell you why that is such a beautiful thought. And that's such a powerful reminder, even for myself, is that as we're walking through what we were just talking about, the moments, the various moments in our lives that God uses to interweave the joys, the happiness, the sadness, the depression, even for some, or, grief, or whatever it may be, up, down, or left or right, doesn't really matter. But as we walk through each of those moments in our lives, it's such a beautiful thought to remember, to be reminded that God is never going to abandon you. Never, ever. So, I'm thinking like, okay, God, you never going to abandon me? Okay, even if I'm mad at you, you're never going to abandon me. Even if I'm upset right now, or even if I feel so frustrated in this season of my life that I can't even get up to do the things that I need to do, you still are there. You ain't gonna never abandon me. And the answer is no. And so I love how she says that our trust must be in that first, like in our understanding. And we have to first have a trust in that first and foremost, God he has an undeniable love for us. So just remember that. And that was, just remember that reminds me on so many days when I might be mad, or I might be upset about something, or the day might not go as well as I would like it to. It's important for me to, on those days, it's an important reminder for me that it doesn't matter, because God still loves me, right? He's still there. He's not abandoning me. So that was powerful. And so once we know that, she said, once we know that, then we can trust that whatever is happening in our lives, that it is actually working together. And I love that, because what she's not saying here, or what I don't hear her saying, or what I don't even hear the word of God saying to us, is that everything happens for, the cliche stuff that people tend to say to other people when they're going through something tough. Everything happens for a reason. It's not saying that. It's saying that those things, because that's an attempt to cover up something. But what it is saying instead is that all the things work together. Not some, not one or two, but all of the things, right? It's working together. And I love that. And so once we trust God's undeniable love for us, then we can rest more, right? We can move more toward resting in the fact that, hey, whatever it is that is happening in my life, whether it is traumatic or whether it is great, whether it is fantastic, it's working together. Everything is working together. So the question she asked here is, what's happening in your life is connected to a bigger plan orchestrated by God? How can this truth help you to reframe your current circumstances and to build more trust in what God is doing? And I'll read you guys what I wrote in my journal when I was answering this question. I just simply wrote, just being open enough, and then I put in parentheses, that means accepting all parts of my journey, all the parts of my journey, and the feelings that come with it, which you guys have seen me do, right? So just being open enough to knowing and to seeing all the ways in which I'm actually gaining clarity and awareness of my call and my ministry. My call and my ministry continue to unfold in the most unexpected yet crystal clear and clarified ways, even in the midst of uncertain, scary, and dark times. So y'all, I was really feeling this when I wrote this, because it's true. Again, it just goes back to being open enough. So her question is, how can the truth of knowing that everything is happening in your life is connected somehow, right? How can that simple truth help you to reframe whatever it is that you go through, is basically her question. And again, for me, it's about just being open enough to accept wherever it is that you are. And y'all have heard me time and time again preach about this, right? About accepting your journey, accepting where you are in your journey, because all days aren't going to be great. All days and all things are not going to pan out perfectly, right? Every circumstance is not going to pan out perfectly. Every scenario is not going to play out in the way that you might have thought it would, or whatever, or what have you. But just being open enough to accept all the feelings, all the parts of the journey, right? that alone helps me to see all the ways that I'm actually gaining clarity. Now, isn't that ironic to be able to gain clarity by accepting all of your feelings, right? You would think, no, but actually, that has helped me to gain a lot of clarity and a lot of awareness of my call in my own ministry. And so, and even in the midst, the last I ended with, even in the midst of uncertain, scary, and dark times, isn't that something that, wait a minute, you can gain clarity and awareness of your call and your ministry in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of scary feelings, in the midst of dark times? Yes, you absolutely can. Simply just by being open enough to know that, you know what, whatever it is that you feel on a certain day, whatever it is that you're going through or walking through in a season, the Lord is still there with you. Walk with him. Don't let his hand go, y'all, because that's what helps me to walk taller and stronger, even in my own ministry. And so I'm encouraging you guys to do that today, to be bold enough. Be bold enough to accept all the parts of your journey, all the things that are working together, not just the good things, not just even the bad even, but all the things, all of it, knowing and having a faith in God that all of it is somehow connected, right? And so that's my little splurge for today, or my little blurb, if you will. I'm going to end with this prayer that she has, because it's beautiful. It's short and it's beautiful. She says, Lord, I don't always understand what you're up to. And that's the truth. But you are worthy of my trust and surrender. There's that word again. Thank you for choosing me to be an instrument of your holy agenda. What a joy to be included in your eternal plan. My God. Amen. And that is absolutely my prayer. So my prayer today is for those of us who might be questioning the same thing. How can I learn to reframe the things that I go through? How can I learn to reframe them? And it's, if you start exactly where she said, because I'm totally an advocate for that. Start at this place, understanding that God is never going to leave you and never going to abandon you, no matter how you feel. You can feel mad, you can feel angry, you can feel upset, you can feel happy and joyous too. But God ain't going nowhere. He is not going anywhere. So start there. If you start there, then you can open your heart enough and your spirit enough to understand that somehow, or to start seeing connections the way I just outlined about clarity, becoming clear on what you are to be doing. So if you start at that place, that could be a blessing in your life. So my prayer for you today is such. So guys, that's it for me. I didn't want to take up much of your time. I just wanted to get back on here so that I can share another bit of devotional moment for me and help somebody in the process. So I pray that it touches you. I pray that something that was said is a blessing and that it helps you. Don't forget, you guys, to subscribe on your way out the door, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Love you all with the love of Christ. Talk to you soon.